Buongiorno, Austin here. This is going to be our first video slash audio recording for your vocabulary. Let's begin with week 1, Firenze. We'll start with greetings and introductions. I'm going to read each Italian word or phrase twice and then give you the translation with few asides and notes. Buongiorno. Buongiorno. Buonasera. Buonasera. Buonanotte. Buonanotte. Good morning, good evening or afternoon, and good night. Mi chiamo. Mi chiamo. My name is or I'm called. Come si chiama? Come si chiama? Come ti chiami? Come ti chiami? What is your name? Formal and informal. Piacere. Piacere. Literally pleasure. Pleased to meet you. Nice to meet you. Sono di. Sono di. I'm from. Di dov'è? Di dov'è? Di dove sei? Di dove sei? Where are you from? Formal and informal. Come sta lei? Come sta lei? Come stai? Come stai? How are you? Formal or informal? Note that the lei is optional. You can just say come sta for the formal. Sto bene. Bene. Molto bene. Molto bene. Così così. Così così. Note here that the sto is optional. Sto bene or sto molto bene. I'm fine, very well, or so-so. Insomma. Insomma. Ugh, don't ask. And you wouldn't use sto with insomma ever. Next, we have our interrogatives, our question words, and later some full questions. Come? Come? How? As in, come si chiama? Come ti chiami? Dove? Dove? Where? As in, di dove sei? Perché? Perché? Why? And also because. Che? Che? Cosa? Cosa? Che cosa? Che cosa? All three of these are what? Che, cosa, and che cosa. All three mean what? They're totally interchangeable. Quale? Quale? Which? To add to the fun, sometimes Italians will use quale when we would use what. So you have many ways of asking what. Quando? Quando? When? Chi? Chi? Who? C'è? C'è? Ci sono? Ci sono? Is there? Are there? As in, c'è un bagno? Is there a bathroom? Ci sono musei? Are there museums? And these can be used as statements as well. C'è, ci sono. Cosa c'è? Cosa c'è? What is there? To which the response would be c'è, there is, or ci sono, there are. Che cos'è? Che cos'è? What is it? Or what is that? This does look pretty similar to cosa c'è, so pick one, get real good with it, and then choose the other. Dov'è? Dov'è? Where is? This is a contraction of dove, where, and is. Dove? Where is? Now for your bonus vocabulary. What we just did is plenty, but if you want to add a little color to your vocabulary or learn some new phrases, start with these. First, some art history terms to enrich your experience at a museum. Chiaro scuro. Chiaro scuro. Literally dark, light, or light dark, which is contrasting. Chiaro is light, scuro, like obscure, is dark. This is contrasting dark and light colors in painting, but also dark and light tones in classical singing. Contrapposto. Contrapposto. Relaxed, naturalistic, a counterposition of the body. Fresco. Fresco. Literally fresh. It's a technique of paint over wet plaster because the plaster has to be painted while it's still fresh. Sfumato. Sfumato. Smoked or hazy, which is a quality of the paint, which is a sort of darker, softer, more blended look. Impasto. Impasto. Pasted, which is using thick brush strokes that show their texture. The French impressionists like to use impasto technique, where the paint is very thick and globbed. Pentimento. Pentimento. Literally remorse. It's just when an artist changes their mind, when they go back and fix a mistake or does something different in a work. And it's when you can see that. Sometimes you can see pencil marks underneath the paint where they changed the position of a hand or something. Tondo. Tondo. Round or circular. Uh, so some paintings are done in a round, like a badge shape. Those are called tondo. They're round like rotund. Non finito. Non finito, which is unfinished, which of course means finito, means finished. Putto. Putto. Putti. Putti. This is the singular and plural of cherub. And these are a popular motif in the Renaissance, and then after that, especially in decorative art. So you see them a lot on ceilings or furniture. Ismo. Ismo. Literally ism, and it's a suffix for a movement, a school of thought, an idea. It can be a political movement or a movement in art. For example, cubismo. Cubismo, cubism. Realismo. Realismo, realism. Feminismo. Feminismo, feminism. And just about any other ism you can imagine has its Italian equivalent. Next, some bonus expressions. Espressioni. Salve. Salve. Hello. It's a little less casual than ciao. I wouldn't say it's as formal as buongiorno, buonasera. But it's an all-purpose greeting. You can use in a somewhat formal context, and it comes direct from the Latin. It comes from hail, and so you do see this a lot in Rome, but people say it all over. Salve, and the response is salve. Benone, benone, really well. So if you're not just bene, you can be benone. It's literally a big bene because one makes something big. It's a aggrandizing suffix. Quite fun. Sto benone oggi. I'm doing great today. Benissimo. Benissimo is like benone, but cranked up to the max. Really well. Anything that is issimo or issima, that aggrandizing suffix is really, really whatever it's attached to. So benissimo, really well. Ottimo, ottimo, great. And this is something you can say in response to how are you doing? Come stai? Ottimo, I'm doing great. Or you can just say it in general. Hey, we're gonna go get pizza later. Oh, ottimo, great. Caspita, caspita, wow. It can also be frustrated. Caspita, wow. Um, Italians also use wow, but they go wow, wow. Per favore is please. Grazie, grazie, thank you. And prego, prego, you're welcome. Literally, I pray. Mi dispiace, mi dispiace. I'm sorry. Literally, oh, that displeases me. Mi dispiace, I'm sorry. And now some bonus grammar. And remember, this is for the insanity workout. You've already got plenty. So we'll start with a couple phrases. Dove abiti? Dove abiti? Where do you live? The formal would be dove abita? Dove abita? And the response, abito, abito, I live. And this is a present tense verb in are. What I mean by in are, that's a category of regular verbs. We have verbs in are, verbs in ere, verbs in ire. This one, and I'm just giving you the tu and the io form, the you and the I form, to start getting a feel for it. You can say dove abiti? Where do you live? Abito, and then you have a lot of options. Abito a Tallahassee. I live in Tallahassee. So a and then the city. Abito vicino a Orlando. Abito vicino a Orlando. I live near whatever. Orlando. I live near FSU. I live near wherever. Abito in una casa. Abito in una casa. I live in a house. Abito in un apartamento. Abito in un apartamento. I live in an apartment. Abito negli Stati Uniti. Abito negli Stati Uniti. I live in the United States. You could also say abito nella Florida. And of course, you can combine these. Abito negli Stati Uniti nella Florida. I live in the United States in Florida. Or abito a Tallahassee in una casa. I live in Tallahassee in a house. Or abito a Tallahassee vicino FSU. I live in Tallahassee near FSU. Lots of different options here. Whenever you have a lot of options here, like this, you can just pick one and make that your standard, or you can learn as many as you like. But I recommend starting with just pick a phrase that you like that expresses what you want to do and make that your phrase to begin with. Next, sono americano. Sono americano or sono americana. Sono americana. Sono, I am. So this is the verb to be and an adjective. Notice that the adjective has a masculine and a feminine form. Later, you can learn the plural forms as well. We have sono francese. Sono francese. Now notice that this only has one form. If it ends in this vowel e, same form for masculine and feminine. Sono francese, sono francese. Let's look at that pattern. Sono canadese, sono canadese. Sono portoghese, sono portoghese. Sono cubano, sono cubana. Sono cubano, sono cubana. So we have two types of adjectives. We have our O adjectives and our A adjectives. The O adjectives will change according to masculine, feminine. Americano, americana. Cubano, cubana. But our A adjectives, they only have the one form. Sono francese, sono canadese, sono portoghese. Oh, and sono messicano, sono messicana. And of course, any other adjective or nationality you can think of. All right, well, that wraps up week 1. Hopefully this has been helpful, and I will see you for week 2.